Welcome and good evening to the City of Montgomery City Council meeting, as well as the Board of Adjustment meeting for July 28th, 2026. It's exactly 6 p.m. and we have a quorum this evening. With that, I'd like to call the meeting to order and ask everyone to check their phones to make sure that they are on vibrate or off so that we are not disturbed during this meeting. And then stand up for the invocation by Mr. Stan Johnson.
I read in Proverbs 28 today, and in verse 2 it says, when there is moral rot within a nation, the government topples easily. But wise and knowledgeable leaders bring stability. So, Father, in the name of Jesus, I declare that Montgomery has wise and knowledgeable leaders, and that we bring stability and do what's right in your sight and take care of the affairs properly in this city. Father, I thank you for watching over all of our first responders. Anybody who's in a position that puts their life in danger, Father, watch over them and guide them in all their ways. And I also want to include all our soldiers, Father, and all the branches of the service, Father, that you watch over and guide them, Father, in these days. And we ask all of these things in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. All right, the Pledge of Allegiance to the United States flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. I did not receive any citizens' comments forms, so we will move right along on the agenda. BOA public hearing. The City Council, serving as the Board of Adjustments, will receive comments from the public on the below listed items. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes each. Persons wishing to speak during the public hearing portion of the meeting must sign in to participate prior to the meeting being called to order. Number 5 on your agenda. Convene in a public hearing on a request for a height variance to allow the construction of a 150-foot flagpole on property located at 20025 Eva Street, HEB. It is 6:02. We will enter into public hearing. I didn't receive anybody that wanted to speak, so we will go ahead and close this public hearing. It is 6:03. BOA regular agenda. The City Council, serving as the Board of Adjustments, will convene into regular board meeting of adjustment meeting. Number 6 on your agenda. Consideration of possible action on an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Montgomery, Texas, serving as the Board of Adjustment, granting a height variance from the city's zoning ordinance to allow the construction and maintenance of a flagpole exceeding the maximum permitted height on property located at 20025 Eva Street, HEB, making findings of the fact, providing conditions of approval, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. The applicant is HEB, and they're requesting a variance to allow a 150-foot flagpole on property at 20025 Eva Street. The property is zoned B commercial, where the ordinance limits maximum height of 45. So we're looking at a variance of 105 feet. Under the zoning ordinance, the term building includes structure, and this flagpole would be considered a structure. The zoning ordinance for the council, acting as the Board of Adjustments today, may grant a variance when special conditions affecting the property create unusual and practical difficulties or particular hardship, provided the variance isn't contrary to the public interest and it's in harmony with the general purpose and intent of the ordinance, and it's not granted merely as a convenience to the applicant. So what staff has found in this application, this location was officially designated as a state historical marker site. So that condition affecting the property could differentiate itself from other properties. The proposed flagpole is actually intended to complement and enhance the visibility of that state historical marker as a civil landmark, and it's not proposed for advertising or commercial signage. Staff also finds that the requested variance is intended to address the site-specific conditions, again, the state historical marker, and it's not merely for the convenience of the applicant. The applicant is here in attendance in case you have any questions for him. Staff also finds that granting the variance would not be contrary to the public interest. It's in harmony with the general purpose and intent of the zoning ordinance and won't adversely affect surrounding traffic or public infrastructure. So at this time, we did look at the FAA regulations. It's more than, 21 miles or so west of the Convene Airport. It is less than 200 feet from mandatory FAA filing, because 200 feet is the point where they would have to file with the FAA. They will meet building requirements, so the 150-foot structure is going to go through building permitting. We'll have the building official review their detailed plans. We will check to make sure that it is far enough away from any overhead lines. That might also be a concern. We will require engineered stamped structural plans from the applicant and make sure that that foundation and everything else, especially like the windows, will meet all the requirements. But other than that, again, we have the applicant available here if you have any questions. Otherwise, if you have any other questions for me.
If it's one question, just as a comparison, the Kroger, how was that? You know?
130 feet.
Okay, so
It's 20 feet shorter than this one.
sorry.
130.
30 feet, yeah.
20
This
feet
is 20
lower.
feet high.
So it's 20 feet up. Okay.
Just as a comment, I appreciate HEB doing this. It's a very important, Charles B. Stewart's home place, and it's special, and I know they're going above and beyond to honor that and also become the gateway flag into our city coming from the east or west. So very much appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Are they gonna put multiple flags or one flag, and which flag are they gonna use?
It will be one flag, and it'll be the state flag, the Texas flag. There are requirements, other requirements, if any other flags. So, something that's
Will they be responsible, or they'll be handling the replacement of the flags? How often?
this is all on HEB's part.
Yeah, if anybody has any questions for me, I'm happy to answer anything.
I do have a question. Will it have a light at night?
There will be uplighting on the base. I don't think there'll be like a light mounted on the pole necessarily, but there will be uplighting kind of on the pedestal that it sits on.
Very good. Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, it's important to us to honor the community and honor the history of the site. So, thank you.
Thank you. So do we need to take an individual vote, or do we can do it cumulatively? Okay.
Do I make a motion to approve the variance to the 150-foot flagpole? Make a motion that we approve.
Motion by Mr. Glazier that we approve the variance of the 150-foot flagpole for item number 6, seconded by Ms. Fox. This motion is debatable, amendable, requires majority vote. All those in favor of approving the 150-foot variance for the flagpole regarding item number 6, say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries, and we will accept the variance for the 150-foot flagpole at HEB. Thank you, sir. Consent agenda. Item number 7, consideration of possible action on the City Council workshop meeting minutes of July 13th, 2026. Number 8, Consideration and possible action on the City Council meeting minutes of July 14th, 2026. Number 9, consideration and possible action authorizing the mayor to sign the escrow agreement by and between the City of Montgomery and Lone Star Sports Zone escrow agreement, development number 2607. Number 10, consideration and possible action authorizing the mayor to sign the escrow agreement by and between the City of Montgomery and the CMC Partnership Limited, development number 2608. And number 11, consideration and possible action on a resolution by the City Council of the City of Montgomery requesting financial assistance from the Texas Water Development Board, authorizing the filing of an application for assistance and making certain findings in connection therewith. Council, you can take these individually or cumulatively. What is your desire?
Cumulatively.
So I have a question about number 10, just real quick. The CMC partnership, can somebody color me up again on that? What is it? Okay, yeah, all right, gotcha. I'm with you. I'm good. I just can't remember.
So a motion by Mr. Donaldson to accept the consent agenda as presented. Seconded by Ms. Fox. This motion is debatable, amendable, requires majority vote. It's open for further discussion. All those in favor of accepting the consent agenda as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries, and we'll accept the consent agenda as presented. Public hearing. The City Council will receive comments from the public on the below listed items. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes each. Persons wishing to participate during the public hearing portion of the meeting must sign in to participate prior to the meeting being called to order. Number 12 on your agenda. Public notice of cancellation. City Council public hearing. Notice is hereby given the public hearing previously scheduled before the City Council of the City of Montgomery, Texas for Tuesday, July 28th, 2026 at 6 p.m. concerning the following agenda item has been canceled. Presentation from Communications Tower Group 1 LLC regarding its proposal to place and construct a wireless telecommunications facility, monopole, on city-owned property located at 14765 Liberty Street. Original meeting location, City of Montgomery City Hall, 101 Old Plantersville Road in Montgomery, Texas, in the City Council chambers. The public hearing will not be conducted at the reference meeting location, and no public comment, deliberation, or action will be taken on this item at this time. If the matter is rescheduled, notice the public hearing date, time, location, and agenda item will be posted in accordance with applicable notice requirement. Regular agenda, item number 13. Consideration of possible action on acceptance of the bids and award of the construction contract for the Buffalo Springs and C.B. Stewart Roadway Improvement Project and authorizing the execution of the construction contract subject to receipt of the required developer deposit. Mr. Rodnowski.
Good evening, everyone. In your packets, you'll see a copy of a bid tabulation, so I'll just remind you all what the scope of this project is, and then we'll go through the alternates that were bid. So if you remember, part of the development agreement with PCS Properties were 2 public projects that would get designed and bid out. One was the utility extension project, which had the Church of Montgomery, the city, and PCS partners in that project. You've already awarded that project, and we received 1 deposit from the developer. We were waiting on the second developer for their deposit to then move forward with issuing the notice to proceed. This is the second portion of that agreement, which is the roadway improvements. And so what this entails is in the base bid, which I'll go through here in a second, is making Buffalo Springs from asphalt to concrete from where it ends by Home Depot to just north of the intersection of C.B. Stewart, as well as C.B. Stewart from 105 to just north of the intersection of Clever, making all that concrete. That is what is in the base bid of the project. The alternate bid that you'll see on here is to complete C.B. Stewart all the way. So the alternate bid includes all of C.B. Stewart and then the same scope of Buffalo Springs. So if you look in your packets on page 55, so the first after the memo, you'll see a copy of the bid results. We received bids on July the 15th. We had 9 bidders submit, ranging in price of their base bid plus alternate of $1.9 million to $2.9 million. Our estimate on the project was right around 2.2, so the numbers were in line. Hassel Construction submitted the low base bid and the base bid plus alternate. in the amount of 1,586,808 and 1,930,946 for the alternate. We worked with Hassel before, they're a good contractor. We've also sent the information to the developer. They also have no issues working with Hassel Construction, so we both find them to be acceptable and are requesting to move forward with Hassel. The question I have for council is, so that if we want to go ahead and complete the remainder of CB Stewart. So the cost difference are in the two, we're looking at roughly, $350,000 between the base bid and the base bid plus alternate. It's a whole lot cheaper to obviously do this part of a larger project than if this was a standalone. And so, it can be awarded either way. It can be awarded with or without the alternate. That's why it's done that way. We've talked it over with staff, and in general, I haven't had a chance to talk to Mary Ann specifically, talking to Brent. There is room in the budget to be able to fund a portion of the project in next year's 2027.
Would that be coming out of Mike's road money?
Well, I mean, that's up for discussion, how we move forward, if it's even something we want to look at. I mean, it wasn't planned, but now that we see this and what the cost is, it was just an option that we do have.
350,000. To finish
We
it.
budgeted more than that, but we already had identified other roads, so.
Correct. So right now, kind of in the Buffalo Springs project where we talked about the repaving with the county, that's on the plan to repave Buffalo Springs. And then this was the other project. Roughly 90,000 was what the county came back with.
And we're planning to budget 500, sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's possible.
Okay.
What happens, Chris, when there's change orders? We stick to this number, and if there's change orders,
So the way that the contract's written is, so the developer will put up the amount plus a 10% contingency to cover potential change orders. Any change order above $10,000 will have to come back to council because y'all will be the one. City is the one administering the contract. And if it is a change order on the base bid portion of the project, it will go into that bucket. If it's a change order on the CB Stewart North portion of the project, it would go onto that side of the bucket. But again, there's, it's a unit price contract. We don't expect a whole lot of changes. It's pretty straightforward. They're not doing underground work. It's a complete redo. So it's, I think we'd have a higher likelihood if we were saying, hey, go do patch base repairs once you dig it up. But we're saying, rip it all up. We're doing new base and concrete roadways. That's going to help a lot of time.
what's the workaround for traffic?
So there's a phasing plan in there. So a couple things that we're working with is one, we're aware of the Christmas parade. So making sure they're done. So based on the timeline that they've given, they'll be substantially complete by that time, but is in the plans that they phase it out. So not all of it's closed down at one time. So, for example, CB Stewart North will be closed while they do that work, but you can still go around. When they do the work on the intersection, they have to leave it open, or at least a portion so traffic can still get through. And then Buffalo Springs is a section, and then CB Stewart South is a section. So they'll still be, if you're going from Klepper over that way, you can go north or south. Both won't be closed at the same time. And then Buffalo Springs, that would be closed, but again, CB Stewart would be open to be able to route around.
We're talking about concrete all the way to Buffalo Springs on CB Stewart.
Right.
So,
Including the intersection itself. So the
including the
intersection of Buffalo Springs and CB Stewart would also be concrete, just to essentially the stop arm, where the radius ends.
Yeah, that's the main reason I ask, because sometimes the transition from concrete to asphalt is not very good in
Right.
most places that I've seen.
Yeah, this is kind of working our way to getting, as we talked about the capital plan, is, getting all of Buffalo Springs done. So that transition is going to be, in a straight section of the roadway, not in the middle of an intersection. It'll look like what's today at the end of Home Depot.
Now my question, where is this company from?
I like it when you look at Zach. Look at Zach's wall.
they're from the area. I can't remember exactly where. Hassel has been, all over this area doing work. I cannot remember where they are based. And I was focused on the alternates on this one and forgot the basic questions, but we'll send you that answer first thing in the morning.
Good.
Based out of Houston.
Yeah, what was that?
I'll make a motion to I want to grant the bid to Hassel Construction with the alternate bid items.
There's a motion on the table from Mr. Olson that we grant the bid to Hassel Construction Group with the total bid plus the alternate bid items.
I'll second.
Seconded by Mr. Glazier. This motion is debatable, amendable, requires a majority vote. It's open for discussion. All those in favor of granting the bid to Hassel Construction Group for the total bid plus the alternate bid items, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries, and we'll accept the bid for Hassel Construction Group plus the total bid plus alternate bid items for item number 13 on your agenda. 14, consideration of possible action on the acceptance of lift station number 10, phase 2.
All right. This item, if you remember, was a project that was funded by Taylor Morrison as part of their development. So what was entailed in this project was replacement of pumps, addition of a generator, and just miscellaneous improvements to the lift station site itself. Phase 1, if you remember right, was funded by Pulte, who upsized the force main portion. Taylor Morrison handled the actual pumps lift station itself, and so now lift station 10 is completely upgraded with more capacity. So we had a 1-year warranty inspection, or excuse me, we had a final inspection. We identified some punch list items. You'll see a copy of that within your packet. The project was deemed substantially complete on July the 2nd, and since the warranty, they have addressed all punch list items that were identified, so we recommend accepting the project officially into the 1-year warranty period that would end on June 2nd of 2027.
I'd make a motion to accept as presented.
Motion by Mr. Glazier, we accept item number 14 as presented.
I second.
Second by Mr. Olson. All those in favor of accepting item 14 as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries, and we'll accept item number 14 as presented. 15 on your agenda. Consideration of possible action on the Briarley Section 7 WSD&P Plans, development number 2006.
All right. The next two items are very similar. They're just two different sections, so I will cover them both, and then we can take independent actions as we get to them. So the first one is for the approval of plans for Briarley Section 7. This includes approximately 99 lots of the next phase of Briarley. They are not planning to start construction right away. They're trying to get approvals, but start construction a few months down the line, kind of to be determined based on sales and then when they'll actually pull the trigger. But we've reviewed the plans. They've addressed all of our comments. Everything is in line with previous agreements with the city, and so we recommend approval of the plans. And just a reminder, this is just approving the plans for them to construct. It'll still come back to you to accept into the warranty, and then come back to you again to end the warranty. Also, you will still have it will come back for the final plat approval as well. That'll be.
Chris, what size are these lots?
These are a mixture. I do not have that in front of me, but it follows the agreement. So if you remember, the agreement had the 3 different sizes, and they've been staying on that same land plan of the ratio. I don't have those numbers in front of me, but when you add in Section 8, just for sake of reference, that's another 126 lots. And after those 2 sections, so the previous sections plus Section 7 and 8, they'll have built or have lots for about 73% of their total of what is in their land plan and what's in lot.
I hear a lot of compliments about that neighborhood, people that live there. So.
Make make a motion to accept item number 15 as presented.
Motion by Mr. Olson to accept item number 15 as presented. Seconded by Ms. Fox. This motion is debatable, amendable, requires majority vote. All those in favor of accepting item 15 as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries. We'll accept item number 15 as presented. 16 on your agenda. Consideration of possible action on the Briarley Section 8, WSD&P Plans, Development Number 2006.
All right. In your packet, you'll see a copy of the feasibility study. So as a reminder, this is referred to as the Cottage Green development. This is at the corner of Lone Star Parkway and Buffalo Springs on the northeast side. So as the last remaining tract over there on that northeast corner. It's about approximately 19 acres. What they're looking to do on the property, they have presented to council before, kind of their development plans. But it's 211 multifamily cottage-style townhomes, so it is multifamily, so there's multiple units per building, but it's not. It's more kind of spread out cottage-style, townhome-style versus traditional multi-story apartments. Excuse me. So we'll go through the report, kind of hit the high points. So again, you'll see in your packet a copy of the tract location and the land plan. Land plan's obviously subject to change when they get through final design. Based on your capacities between your water and your wastewater plant, again, both of those projects, everything moving forward, the capacities you've created, you're still in a good spot as development continues to stay on track with development. When you look at the cost to them, the main thing that they're looking at is water and wastewater impact fees. That escrow agreement amount that's very conservative. There's not a lot there. If this becomes just a traditional single family, traditional multifamily, where there's not any public extensions or anything like that, which is what is currently the plan, it's just standard plan reviews and inspections for them. So
Everything's a dead end. There's not a through street.
correct. There's no third street.
At one point, there was going to be a through street.
Correct. And so the general scope of the development is there'll be entrances off of Buffalo Springs and Lone Star Parkway. There is no through street going through. The stub out street that's in Taylor Morrison will not be extended. It'll stay a stub out street as it is. And that was based on kind of fire marshal review. We've reviewed with the fire marshal. He has no objections to that. Also, it doesn't add a lot of value for the city to have that additional street. Since Taylor Morrison did the boulevard entrance, they satisfied the county's concern about one way in, one way out. The property is currently zoned PD, and it would remain zoned PD. So when you look at the general plan for the PD, this included as a mixed-use site, which allows multifamily to be on that tract. Okay. We talked about water. Again, gist of it, as you continue to build out, you're staying right in pace with development, so no concerns there. Their water, they'll connect to the existing lines adjacent to them. For sewers, the same thing, so they will connect to the lines adjacent to the tract, which will ultimately go to Lift Station 10. Lift Station 10 has plenty of capacity to serve this site. Regarding drainage, so they are proposing, if you look on their land plan, a separate detention pond at the northern portion of their boundary. They will have to submit a drainage study for review and approval, showing that they're not going to be negatively impacting downstream property owners and that they have the right to discharge all the way down to the receiving stream. Planning and traffic, we do recommend that they are required to submit a traffic impact analysis because you have 211 units going on in Buffalo Springs, which is already a busy road, but submitting that traffic impact analysis showing if they need to do any improvements to Buffalo Springs, which may include turn lanes, but that will be determined based on the warrant of the study. Development costs, this is all private development, so it'll be on them. There's no proposed public extensions that would be required. And then financial feasibility, just looking at the general of the development, they're looking at a total assessed value of approximately $31.5 million in full build out. Generally, based on your current tax rate, you look about $29,000 in debt service, about $90,000 a year in operation and maintenance tax revenues based on where you are today. So,
So looking at the architectural land plan, brain's not firing right now. So when I read 80 eightplex homes, that 80 homes that are eightplexes,
Oh, that's 88 doors.
88, 80,
No.
80,
Is that
80
88
doors?
doors? Yeah.
211 doors.
Okay.
211.
Why the math isn't working out? I'm trying to get over that sheet.
Yeah, there's a lot of paging to get.
Yeah, so it's 211 total.
211 total homes, right? So I'm just, I don't know.
While you're looking that up, I have an easier question.
Yes.
Is this in the mud?
No, it is not.
So they're shy on parking spaces.
Yeah, so I mean, again, approval of feasibility has nothing to do with meeting rules for the plan approval or variances or stuff like that. So they'll still have to meet the parking requirements of the city. They'll still have to, submit all the plans for approval, go through the plating process, everything else. So the site plan is definitely subject to change.
We're just looking at the utility.
Exactly.
So from the utility standpoint, is there any kind of amenities, a pool or anything coming with this? Or is it just a bunch of people jammed in a small little spot?
Remember, and this is more, obviously, not a graphical image, but when I think they're here today. So, and they can talk to some of the amenities they were proposing, but if you remember, it was a cottage style, it was amenitized, and they showed some examples, and if you don't mind, I'll have them kind of tell you a little bit more about the development itself.
Brought some picture packets. Can I
I can handle it.
Please.
have some?
Mayor, may I interrupt you just a moment? You were talking about item numbers.
I was talking about that's what I was wondering. I was like, I
It
should
should be on number 16.
yes.
We should be, we're
I'm
talking
sorry.
on 17, but we should be on 16.
Correct, you only took one action.
Thank you. Yes. Right.
Is it the same?
No, this is the Briarley. So
No, I'm talking about numbers 15 and 16, just section 8 versus.
Yes.
That is
Yeah,
correct. And I kind of looped
thank
this
you for that. Because I
together.
was like, did I read?
I was rolling and
That's why I
did it.
mean, it's like,
Yeah.
it's drawn the same, but it's changed.
Yeah. No. Okay. So let's go ahead and go back to 16. Consideration possible action on the Briarley Section 8 WSD&P Plans, development number 206.
Make a motion to accept item 16 as presented.
Motion by Mr. Olson, second by Mr. Glazier. All those in favor of accepting item 16 as presented, say aye. Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries. 16 is approved. Now we'll go to 17.
Sorry about that.
Consideration possible action on the acceptance of a utility and economic feasibility study on the Cottage Green development number 2605. All right.
All right, so developers here, he handed out some packets and he'll go through kind of the amenities of the project.
Thank you. Tim Crawford. I live in Conroe. We've developed several of these around the county, a couple in Harris County as well. And so essentially what it is it is cottage style. There's an internal main street with two-story product. You can see some of the pictures there. And then really around the edges are all one-story product. The one-story product is predominantly cottage-style product. The amenities, it's a typical, Class A amenities, pool and fitness, and there's some common open space, lots of little yards with the houses, white picket fences, good-looking product. It rents really well. The rents are really high. We've got a couple in Conroe, one in the Woodlands, some other areas. They look great. They do really well. This is, we're buying the property from Alan Kent. This is, I think, his last piece of property he has here. I can answer any other questions.
Just say they look good because my granddaughter lives on one of them.
Okay.
Just like this. Just like her house. And I've got a friend that lives in one of yours and they love it. It's a good product. We don't have a product like this here.
Yeah, I think it'll do really well. We have our main demographic is single women, and a little bit older demographic as well too. It's kind of all over the place on age, but I think you'd be happy with the demographic that we have.
I know I might be getting ahead of it because looking at the utility, but do these have driveways? There's no garages?
No, so there will be some garages, but they'll be more common style garages. They aren't attached to the units.
at each location?
Yeah, no, so it's parked very similar to a typical apartment where, some spaces will be assigned. There's carports, there's garages that people can rent as well. But the garages are not attached to the homes.
What do you anticipate the rent,
I'm sorry?
what do you anticipate the rent price to be, market
I
value?
just looked a minute ago because I was afraid you were going to ask that question. I think the average, I looked at the average, I don't know the low and the high. The average is around 1,800.
For a one bedroom?
The average would be, here, let me look at something here.
Did you say you're doing one bedroom and two bedrooms, or is it three?
Yeah, right now, I don't think we've shown any three bedrooms. We can intermix the three bedrooms in there where the cottage section is, but, right now, we're getting the most success out of all the communities who have the ones and twos. To me, the families who take the three bedrooms, they'd rather live in a cul-de-sac with, a garage. So we don't really have a lot of three bedrooms.
And so the product is 100% rental?
Yes.
Okay. You're gonna have to come for a bunch of variances, I take,
Hope not.
lot line builds and all that stuff.
We've looked at the zoning, and I hope that's not the case.
The retention pond on the north side, where's it going to?
Yeah, so,
There's a small little subdivision.
it's a complicated little area over there, engineering-wise. Maybe Andrew, my engineer, can answer that.
How are y'all doing? So we've looked at the property pretty extensively with Tim and his group. Got some information from Alan Kent initially, and then we worked with Taylor Morrison's engineer next door. So they provided their drainage study, their plans, and essentially they're constructing a detention pond currently. It might actually already be done. And they provided a stub out to drain the 19 acres because our property currently drains through where they're building their ponds. And so they accounted for all that in their drainage study, and then we're having our own drainage study done to ensure that we're not increasing that allowable release rate.
So you can bypass that subdivision there and get one into the creek?
Correct. We're sending our flow directly into a pipe that's being built to the northeast corner of our property. So it'll all go underground into Taylor Morrison's pond, and then Taylor Morrison's pond into Town Creek. I believe it's Town Creek.
I don't have any more questions for you, but engineering, I still want to talk to them about.
Sure.
I've been, reading through both these escrow agreements, and I'm kind of concerned with not just Cottage Green, but I want to kind of throw in there Cheatham's property, Heritage Place, because the wording you've done on the water and the sewer is pretty much the same. And to me, it basically says, we've got to get off our bottoms and get the water and sewer in. But one particular question I wanted to ask about our sentence is on page 159 of my packet. It's under the executive summary. And it says, talking about wastewater, it says to ensure future projected demands are accounted for the city should have moved forward with the design of a future wastewater treatment plant extension at either Town Creek or the Stewart Creek facilities.
Right.
Well, I haven't heard of anything about doing anything at Stewart Creek.
So we talked about that during the budget workshop. So for that specifically, last year, we submitted the permit for it. So at Town Creek, you're building you're finalizing design of the first phase of that project to be able to double that, and that's permitted. At Stewart Creek, one plant is already online, and then the permit amendment is sitting with the state to allow for that to be doubled as well. And so that is in the capital budget that we talked about, was getting the design of that going. You still have time. So the main thing now is getting the plant we're in demolition as we speak at Town Creek,
getting that one going. But when you look at the actual time projections, you're not needing that additional capacity until 2029. It's just doing the intermediate steps so you're ready for that when you get there.
I just wanted assurance that you're confident that when we let these developments open up and they start demanding sewer and water, we're gonna be able to supply it. Because I don't
Yes.
wanna have any moratoriums when we have to start.
Right, yeah, no, we're, again, based on our projections, and, we take a conservative look at those and at the timing, and we're confident that, as we stay on schedule and getting these projects, you already have the funding for the water plant, you already have the funding for the sewer plant, we'll be bidding those, any week now. We're just waiting on final comments, to be addressed so we can send those to bid. You're tracking in that right direction. But obviously, everything builds out at full capacity and uses everything they say, you gotta continue to build, and add on the capacity, which is why, you have the impact fees and you have the other funding mechanisms. We've looked at water and sewer rates to continue to fund those projects as they come up. And the reason that the wording on the Cheatham, the Heritage, and this one are the same, we ran them both assuming both of them are developed. So they're going at the same time, so we have them both on there as development properties, so the numbers are the same.
I mean, you just emphasize yourself that the time, like on one statement, the timing of the development is a major factor. And I want to make sure that timing is okay.
Yep. No, if we weren't confident of providing service, we would let you all.
Chris, what was the original zoning of that before the PD, was it put on? Because that PD's long since expired. And
So
the property's not changed hands, so.
the PD itself zoning stays in place. What the original zoning was before, I do not know. That would have been pre-2004.
I don't think it was zone, I think it was just ranch land,
Right, and I don't remember
residential.
what it was.
That PD was not, zoning, a permit. That
No, it
expired.
didn't. It
was
set
a 20-year
zoning.
permit.
It's set zoning.
So the PD, and there's been a lot of back and forth on this topic. So the development agreement that created the PD zone, among other things, that did expire in 2024. It was a 20-year agreement, 2004 agreement, or 2004 agreement expired in 2024. When that expired, the PD remained in place, so the zoning did not change. And it's based on the general plan that was part of that included this as mixed use. So the PD zone still applies, even though that development agreement has since expired.
I just wanted to clarify that.
It's a weird one. And so just as a reminder, acceptance of the study is not approval of plans, approval of variances, or anything else. It's accepting the findings, providing your feedback, and you voice the concerns about parking and things like that. So the developer will go finish up the site plans and start working through approvals. And if there are any variances, that'll have to come back to you.
I make a motion to move forward with the feasibility study for the Cottage Green development.
Motion by Mr. Olson that we move forward with the feasibility study on the Cottage Green development. Second by Ms. Langley. This motion is debatable and amendable, requires majority vote. It's open for further discussion. All those in favor of accepting item number 17 as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes, you said nay? The ayes have it, the motion carries. And we will accept number 17 as presented. Number 18, consideration and possible action on the acceptance of a utility and economic feasibility study for the Cheatham Management LLC Heritage Place Medical 3 development, Dev number 2606.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Should have this feasibility study, I believe it's page 169 in your packet. So this is going to be, we brought this escrow agreement to you all maybe a month or two back. This is going to be the next phase of Heritage Medical, we'll call it Heritage Plannable number 3. Montgomery, so it's going to be the one adjacent to Louisa in the southeastern corner where A Barbecue currently is. It's going to be a 3-story building, roughly 20,000 square foot gross. Site plan is indicating, you know, a parking expansion, a connection, a further connection between Pond and Louisa. They'll add parking. They'll continue that streetscape along 105 to connect back to Louisa. So the kid intends to kind of create that standard walking that he's coordinated with Texas in the past. Just hitting some of the topics here. I know Stan, you kind of mentioned the water and sewer verbiage in this report is very much the same. Because WGA kind of keeps a lot of the water and sewer capacity, does it make sense for us to do one and do one? We've handed that off to them, and they kind of give us that language just to confirm that the utility capacities for these developments are going to be okay. So that's kind of why that verbiage is the same, kind of why Chris indicated that. So certainly kind of going through this a little bit. Water, sewer capacity, everything should be fine. There is a water line and a sewer line on the frontage of 105, so we'll be able to easily tap into there. There should be not any public extensions. The impact fees were just estimated based off of what we assume water meter will be. Those will be adjusted once we get a final design. Those will be required for the final plat. The desire is to replat, so there was a plat on the original medical complex. Since this site will stand on its own, but it's taking a part of the residential property south of it, it does make sense. There's also a development plat for that parking lot expansion that was done several years ago, so it's kind of been piecemeal. I think the desire is to do one entire plat for this entire complex that will include a rezoning that will be needed for the part that they're expanding where the residential lot's going to be. So part of that entire process, we'll go ahead and do a rezoning to get that back into commercial, we'll get that into commercial zoning. Preliminary plats will come to P&Z, and then you'll see the final plat after approval of the construction plans. In terms of drainage, everything will be private. They'll take everything in. Kind of their concept plan that I've looked at so far will take in a detention facility south of one of their existing parking lot spaces now, and that'll discharge into Pond Street, and then it'll carry around the corner. We have not looked at anything yet, so it's just our first step, but that's just the concept that we've seen so far. On paper, it looks fine. We'll make sure that we review the civil set in its entirety. In terms of paving and traffic planning, we didn't do a full parking count. I know there was a question when we did the escrow about how many total parking spaces there will be. It's roughly around 153 total parking spaces once this is expanded. If you added some of the parking spaces behind the bank on Pond Street that's been used there in the past, that'll add a little bit to it as well. The site plan does show on-street parking on Louisa. Louisa is only 30 foot. We are recommending that Louisa does get expanded slightly, just at least to the southern line of the development. Louisa's pretty narrow, roadside ditches aren't great, so we just expand that southern piece. When we do that in that 30-foot right-of-way, I just don't think we're going to be able to fit the parking spaces along that roadway. So that may have to be a change in their site plan. In terms of just overall development costs, like I said, we assumed a 1.5-inch meter tap. That would be equivalent to $21,566 for the water impact fees and $16,738,000 for the sewer impact fees. We do have an estimated escrow account number in here that will cover any legal fees for development agreements, any of our fees to be able to review the plans, and we anticipate inspections for the road widening when that comes to that as well. And then in terms of just the financial feasibility, further application, they show that they were going to bring in an additional just for the building, so it's not what they currently have. So $3.5 million, which will bring approximately $10,000 in O&M and a little over $3,200 in debt service taxes to the city. Other than that, I'm happy to answer any questions. I know Mr. Cheatham is here as well. I'm happy to answer any questions you'll have.
Who owns the property to the west?
Mr. Cheatham, across Louisa District.
Yeah, so you could buy the road on parking spots?
Yes. There could be some off-street parking there, yeah. Absolutely. And then you own to the south, right, where you're gonna change the property line?
Yeah.
Question, what size are the other two buildings there? I know that those are 2-story, you're gonna go 3, which is fine with me, but is the footprint the same?
I think they're slightly different.
Yeah, footage-wise, they're the same, but yeah, the footprint of this
do beautiful.
A lot
color.
smaller.
Yeah, so that'll look good.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yep. And then are you still planning on doing parking to the west? The big parking garage? To the west, across the street of Louisa?
Yeah, not for this project.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Just thought we'd roll it all together.
I'd make a motion to approve 18 as.
Motion by Mr. Glazer, we accept item number 18 as presented.
I second.
Seconded by Mr. Olson. This motion is debatable, amendable, requires majority vote. Is there any other questions? All those in favor of accepting item number 18 as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries, and we'll accept item number 18 as presented. Number 19, consideration of possible action on formally ending the one-year warranty period and releasing the maintenance bond on the 2023 Sanitary Sewer Rehabilitation Phase 1.
Right. Standard item for y'all. So we had a one-year warranty inspection back in April on this project. Contractor has since addressed the items and is ready to go. The delay, contractor's going through some restructuring, so they ended up taking some time to get reorganize it out on site, but they have completed the warranty items, and so this is officially ending the one-year warranty period for the 2023 Sanitary Sewer Rehab Phase 1 project.
No issues for you, Chris?
So
No issues with you?
no, only a couple items are identified. They have since rectified and we're finding something.
I'm not seeing much of a punch list still.
Yeah, there's two items. It was sealing around the manhole internally and then fixing around the grout around the exterior of the manhole. Which they've since done both.
Motion to accept item 19 as presented.
Motion by Mr. Olson, we accept item 19 as presented. Second by Mr. Glazer. This motion is debatable, amendable, requires majority vote. Open for discussion. All those in favor of accepting item number 19 as presented, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries, and we'll accept item number 19 as presented. Number 20 on your agenda. Consideration of possible action on formally ending the one-year warranty period and releasing the maintenance bond on the Town Creek Crossing Section 1.
All right. So this one, we're going to go through a little bit of history because this has been talked about for a while. So I'll kind of recap where we are, what's transpired, what's taken place to today, and then ultimately what the recommendation is moving forward. So originally, the one-year warranty Town Creek Crossing was scheduled to end on March 31st of 2023. It was inspected during the warranty period at that time. A punch list was identified, and if you remember, a lot of pavement cracking was taking place. And kind of that was right on the heels of other issues in Hills of Town Creek with pavement failures that actually were sinking and needed to be repaired because they were holding water and creating bird baths. And so the stance at the time was all cracking needs to be addressed. We want to take, acceptable streets. So since then, there's been a lot of back and forth on what's really required, what's really going on with the streets. Developers done independent looks at it and kind of always end at the same point that we got to fix the cracking. So today, we have gone back out, also just a couple other history points that I missed over. If you remember that these cracks were identified and were related to sidewalk insulation that was not done by the original contractor. So the bond the city had with the contractor could not be called upon since it wasn't done by them. So then that developer assents that the mud is in place, the HOA is in place. So we did a re-inspection after going back and forth back in May. Additionally, L Squared also re-inspected on June 22nd. And we've attached both of those re-inspections in the memo. So in summary, without going through, there's a lot of photos in there, so please take a look. The items that were cracked 3 years ago are still cracked today, obviously because we're fixed. They also have not gotten worse. So, there's not signs that this is a structural issue, the roadway is not sinking, we're not seeing bird baths. The cracks are still there, obviously because they haven't been fixed, but they have not gotten perceivably worse based on the comparison of photos and information from the two. So what is in so you'll see the pictures in the report, and then also the elsewhere kind of summary on the same topic. Ultimately, we don't believe that there's risk of failure of those roadways. We do believe that it's in the best interest to seal those cracks, and there's some curbs that are broken, and those curbs need to be replaced for a limited scope. And there's also one spot that if you go out there, it looks bad, but it was caused by a piece of equipment, had nothing to do with the developer. This was done, I don't know the story of it, but the HOA is working with property owners to get that fixed. It was damaged by them. It has nothing to do with the original contract. So going through the items, again, you'll see copies of the photos, copies of the L-square report. Jonathan's here, obviously, as well, can answer kind of questions and concerns between the two. But the ultimate recommendation is, seal the cracks, replace the curbs that are broken, and accept the roads in the warranty or in the period.
As far as sealing the cracks, are you having the city do it, or are you having the?
So that is one of the questions.
Talking with Philip, he's believe he's going to be committed to doing that. If there's the city wants to do it, he funds it, or if he does it directly, I think there's a conversation for that, but he would go ahead and do that, seal the cracks, patch the curbs, and then the area where that piece of equipment may have damaged the concrete. My last conversation with them was that they were going to fix it, patch it, not the HOA. That may have changed, but I think they're committed on making sure to see that through as well.
Okay. Nevertheless, someone's going to fix that, never the HOA. So until that's done, so then we should consider ending this.
So my recommendation would be give direction of, we'll accept subject to those cracks being sealed, and it can be a conditional acceptance that once the cracks are sealed and the curbs are replaced that are identified in here, then it would be officially close it out and be done. But before either party went forward with it and they go seal the cracks and then come back and say, no, we're still not happy, we want the panels replaced. So that's why it's in front of you before that work is done, to get direction and then make it either a contingent or give the direction, table it, come back to see the results of the completed work.
But you, as representing the city, you feel confident that all this needs is just be refilled and it's not going to continue? You said it's...
Yeah, 3 years if it's not getting worse. It's not a structural issue of the pavement, but we obviously want to prevent water, getting in there. So let's seal the cracks, replace the curbs that are broken, because those need to be replaced. It's a visual.
And being newer to the council, I don't know if usually we say, yeah, we'll consider closing it out if they fix these things, or do we usually say, no, fix it and then we'll take a look? What do we say?
I wouldn't say there's a normal, because this one's definitely not a normal of a timeline. So I think...
Had we had the opportunity to go after the bond like we tried to, we didn't know that there was that would have taken care of it. Normally, that would be normal. You go after the contractor that did it, so it's been a mess and it's been in limbo for so long. That's why I said, let's just get this up here again, make a decision and move forward, because the people that live in the community would like to get this done, and that's the biggest thing that I wanted to get it. That's why we kind of invoked both of these guys, because they're kind of hitting it at different angles. And if you go out there, they're not that terrible. And if you look at the pictures that Jonathan had from 3 years ago to today, pretty much looks the same. They did a terrible job on some of it where the sidewalks feather into the street. I mean, there were some problems, no question, but...
All the bird baths are fixed?
Yeah, there's no bird bath issues in this section.
So they're some of the newer roads in town, and they're literally the roughest ones you can drive on. They're
I mean, I'm fine with making a motion, provided these things are fixed and that they are looked upon by you guys to make sure that you feel satisfied with.
I think they do need the inspection.
I think that would say see you later, but.
Right.
It needs to be sealed correctly. I think we suggested, air compressor hose to help kind of clean out any debris that could be in the cracks. We don't think this still crack it, and that will help prevent deterioration from just ongoing traffic. So our competent contractor makes sure that it's been inspected, and someone can sign off on it, bring it back, all checked off, and get it over.
And the way this is written, the warranty period, it's way gone. You know, I mean, so we don't really have that anymore. So we just needed to.
Driver accepted the warranty. So-
Yeah, I mean, but that's really not the teeth of this. It's the agreement now. It's a way to move forward.
I would really like to see it fixed.
Me too.
Whatever y'all like. And that doesn't change anything, other than you gotta bring it back to say, okay, so you just gotta bless it.
Yeah, the direction is, we're fine with the concept, but before we make it official, we want to see, documentation of the repairs. I think that's a very reasonable ask. And we'll work with Jonathan, developer, and staff to get the repairs done, bring them back to you, and official accept it with those completed photos at that time.
Well, these citizens have been in limbo for 3 years, and I think getting it done and then making sure, have the city's blessing that it is done correctly. Not saying that the developer, whoever's gonna fix it, is still gonna do it wrong, but again, that it's up to our standards, and then that way too, the citizens know that we approved it and it's on us. If something.
And eventually, some of that's just going to be standard maintenance.
Sure.
Because they're not failing or collapsing. It's just.
So we make a motion to table it until it's fixed?
Or just,
You can, yeah.
Until it comes back fixed and we readdress it. Make a motion to table it.
motion by Mr. Glazer, seconded by Ms. Fox to table item number 20. All those in favor say yea.
Yeah.
Those opposed say no. The yeas have it. We will table item number 20. Come back to the next meeting.
Yeah, when are we tabling it?
I would give it probably 2 meetings at least, if not.
Probably need to
So
get a couple
45 days,
contracts
30
over.
days, if sooner, so we can say 45 days if it happens in.
Let's say your first September meeting, because we have 2 meetings, that gives us 2 meetings in between the month, essentially the month of August to get it complete and then bring it to us.
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably have to get some numbers from a couple contractors to make sure it works.
So 3 days over, I think that'll be fine.
September the 8th? The 8th would be.
That's probably the earliest we could do it, just assuming we're gonna get some numbers, the contractor's gotta do
The
it.
22nd then?
Yeah, push it to the second one,
Yeah.
give them plenty of time.
Okay.
Yeah, 22nd.
We need to vote on that amendment. All those in favor of pushing, tabling item number 20 until the September 22nd meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries. We will table item number 20 until the September 22nd meeting. Number 21. Consideration of possible action by City Council on the replat of the Cornerstone Community Church, development number 25.0.
All right. So Cornerstone Church has purchased the property next door, and so they are working on an expansion. So this is the replat of that to make one single reserve between those properties. This went to planning and zoning on July the 7th, and they offer no objection to the replat. The actual terms of it, so if you look on page 225 of your packets, you'll see a copy, the meaningful copy of the plat with the exhibit on it, showing that they have a 25-foot setback and vegetative setback on the rear adjacent to the homes, as well as all the other required setbacks, so there's no variances requested to this. Couple things just to say abundantly clear. Approval of the plat is just the approval of the plat. This is not approval of construction of any improvements on the property, of clearing the property, of buildings, parking, anything. It is just the approval of the plat. And then they will follow up with actual construction plans, because if you remember, ultimately they plan on expanding to the north, the building. So they will, at that, they have not submitted those yet, but they will still have to submit those construction plans. And if there are any variances that come up from that, for parking or landscaping, we don't have indication of them, but it will come back for any variances will go through the proper approvals. So this is just the approval of the replat of the property.
Make a motion to accept the replat for the Cornerstone Community Church under item 21.
Motion by Mr. Johnson, second by Ms. Langley, that we accept the replat for the Cornerstone Community Church, development number 2510. This motion is debatable, amendable, requires a majority vote. It's open for discussion. All those in favor of accepting item number 21, which is the replat for the Cornerstone Community Church, development number 2510, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries. We'll accept item number 21 as presented. Number 22, consideration of possible action on extending the sidewalk installation deadline for one additional 1 year following the warranty inspection for Montgomery Bend Section 1 and 2, development number 2203.
All right. So y'all have heard this before as well. So Montgomery Bend has already requested one-year extension to the sidewalk installation requirement. If you remember, what is required is developers have sidewalks on both sides of the street, and developers have requested that they put them in with the houses, like we talked about many times, because putting in a sidewalk, driving over it, breaking it doesn't make sense. The intent of the rule is that we're trying to prevent gaps in the sidewalk. So if houses don't get built, you don't have just a patchwork of sidewalks, which is why there's a 1 year requirement on it. So last year, back in August, they requested an extension to that, and that was granted. And so the current deadline is they have to by August 13th and October 21st, respectively, of 2026, they have to have all those sidewalks complete. As of today, there's still 34 sections missing between those. Between section 1 and 2, there's 34 lots that are empty and 34 sidewalk sections that are not there. So they are requesting an additional year, so it pushes back to 27 to install those sidewalks.
The sidewalks are put in though with the existing house, correct?
Correct. Yes, where there's homes are in, and any common areas the sidewalks are in. It's just on the undeveloped lots or unfinished lots that the sidewalks do not exist. And so if granted, they still will put up another bond and a warranty, so that will still carry on like it did the first time.
I make a motion to accept item number 22.
Motion by Mr. Olson to accept item number 22 as presented, seconded by Ms. Langley. This motion is debatable, amendable, requires a majority vote. It's open for discussion. All those in favor of accepting item number 22 as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries, and we'll accept item 22 as presented. Thank you. Executive session, number 23, closed session. City Council will meet closed session pursuant to the provisions of Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code in accordance with the authority contained in A, Section 551.072, deliberations about real property, 213 Prairie Street. It is 7:07, and we will head into executive session.
Thank you for it. What?
Stick around.
I was like, you see how cold it is in here? Do you?
That's what I said. So Chris sleeping. Too many bodies.
True story. All right. All right, it is 7:38, and we are back in open session. City Council will reconvene in open session, at which time action on the matters discussed in closed session may be considered. A, Section 551.072, deliberations about real property, 213 Prairie Street.
Accept the amendment to their,
The amendment to with the agreement with the MEDC concerning 213 Prairie.
Motion by Mr. Olson that we accept the agreement regarding 213 Prairie.
The amendment.
The amendment?
That's a make.
The amendment? Ms. Langley seconded. All those in favor of accepting the amendment for 213 Prairie, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The motion carries. We will accept the amendment to 213 Prairie. All right, closing agenda, 25, council inquiry. We had a TxDOT, MISD, MPD city meeting this past week. And I did talk to Commissioner Walker, and he is in to do the paving and everything for if we acquire that road from 1097 across to go over to Lincoln.
it seems like the question now is, will the school buy that property? Whole thing of it. That would give us a little easier path forward if that could happen.
We need turn lanes at 1097 and 149. For the record, we are talking about 1097 and 149 and putting in turn lanes. And in order to do so, we've got to acquire property and TxDOT, pretty much 75% committed to helping us, all of that, but it's necessary.
We have to acquire the property?
So it's going to, so we are not acquiring the property.
Okay.
They are, but there is property across from 1097 to go across to go over to alleviate the bottleneck at that for people coming from 149 south. They can take that right-hand turn lane and get into Lincoln instead of having to go through that light, go down, take that hard turn.
Yeah, right,
Yep,
and back into
and
the
it
school.
just helps bottleneck out from MLK 149 and up there. And so
Expanding that school a little bit, so.
that property needs to be acquired. And then we are talking about, well, Commissioner Walker said that he would pave it if it gets acquired, and then I guess we would maintain it because it'd become a city street.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's good.
It's great.
Do we get a say when they, the MISD, do we ever get a meeting with them?
I always meet with them. We meet for.
They were there.
Yeah, no, they
Yeah.
need to put sidewalks around that. The ditch is falling and
Yeah.
getting
Probably easy to do with this expansion. The thought was in that meeting, if they buy TJ's property there, we can put a road straight through to meet, and then you create that circle, and then if you sidewalk the whole thing, because we were gonna put parallel parking along there too, because you're gonna have lines of
Yep.
parents.
Yeah, it'll be much improved, but he said he's all in. He told me that today.
Good.
So just wanted to let y'all know that that's moving along nicely. Anything else? Did you have anything? Anybody else? All right, 26 items to consider for placement on future agendas. All right, 27.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Glazier made a motion to adjourn. Ms. Fox seconded. All those in favor of adjourning say aye.
Aye.
All right, the ayes have it at 7:42. We are adjourning.